Finance Committee meeting. First order of business is RS 2015-1544. Sponsors Pridemore approves an annual state grant of $65,500 to the Metro Arts Commission for the operating support. Have a motion? Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1545, Pridemore approves a grant of $4,000 from the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee to the Metro Arts Commission to make newly commissioned music, sound, or literary works inspired by public art accessible in neighborhoods via explorenashvilleart.com. Have a motion? Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1546, Pridemore and Baker, the sponsors, approves a state grant of $474,948 to the district attorneys to provide services to Hispanic victims of crimes and their families. Do I have a motion? And duly seconded. Do I have any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Thurman. I feel you didn't want to speak unless you had to. If you'd like to speak on it, thank you. RS 2015-1547, Pridemore and Baker approves an agreement between the United States government and the Metropolitan government to allow the fire department to bill Medicare for ambulance service. Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1548, Pridemore and Gilmore sponsors, approves a state grant of $815,700 to the Metro Board of Health for the Emergency Management Program. Motion? Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1549, Pridemore and Gilmore sponsors, approves a state grant of $801,400 to the Metro Health Department to provide tender care community outreach services for enrolled children. Duly motion and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1550, Pridemore and Gilmore sponsors, approves an amendment to a state grant to the Metro Board of Health for sexually transmitted disease services and HIV, AIDS prevention and surveillance by decreasing the grant amount by $113,900. Duly seconded. Any discussion? Council Lady Gilmore.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to know why it was decreased. If someone could speak to that.
Hold on one second, John. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Health Department.
Is it on?
Rachel from the Health Department.
Yes. While I don't work directly with Ron White, I am in that bureau. From what I understand, this is the second part of a continuing grant. They've already got the first part, and now this is it. So together, it will not necessarily be a decrease.
So it's just a reduction. They may have gotten more last year.
Exactly.
Or the first part.
This is a continuation of a first part of a grant that they've already gotten.
Is that?
Thank you. It does.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thanks.
Rachel.
I'll stay up here for the next one, too.
All right. Seeing no other discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1551, Pridemore and Gilmore sponsors, approves an amendment to a grant from the Greater Nashville Regional Council to the Metro Social Services Commission for meal delivery services by increasing the amount of the grant by $16,000. All motion? Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1552, sponsored Pridemore and Gilmore, approves an amendment to a federal grant to the Metro Board of Health to enhance access to community-based care for low-income individuals and families with HIV by increasing the amount of the grant by $952,299. Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all
Thank you. I just want to know, how do they determine what persons get access that are low income, if they could speak to that?
Rachel?
I don't have that information. I can get it for you. I am a fill-in, and I'm not with that program.
Tom Sharp's not here this evening, so
Okay.
she's,
And I can ask them at the health and hospital meeting as well.
all right.
We'll just be meeting tomorrow, too.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we can just send a question and we can get it by tomorrow. We can just send it in question format for the health and hospitals, because she just shared it would be her tomorrow as well.
Rachel, is there any way you can do that? Just,
I'm the director of emergency preparedness, which is here, so I said I'd say what I could about the other programs, but I'm not an expert.
Okay.
okay.
She could just send a question.
Yeah, if you could just,
Yeah, no worries.
Can you say the question again? How do they?
Does she want to come to the mic, maybe? It's getting really informal.
would you mind just come on up here to the microphone? We can,
Getting kind of really informal.
I won't have to intervene. That's fine. No, that's quite all right.
The question specifically?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. It's just, how do we determine what low and income people are able to take advantage of the Ryan White grant?
Okay.
And just how you get that information out. What are the qualifications?
I'll have that information for you tomorrow at the Health Committee.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. We appreciate it.
Seeing no other discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1553, Pridemore and Gilmore as sponsors, approves an amendment to a state grant to the Metro Health Department for operation of Women, Infants, and Children, WIC, and commodity supplemental food programs by increasing the amount of the grant by $138,000. Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1556, Pridemore and Bennett sponsors, approves an amendment to a grant for the Conservancy for the Parthenon and Centennial Park to the Metro Parks Department to support implementation of the Centennial Park Master Plan by increasing the amount of the grant by $560,000. Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1557, Pridemore and Bennett sponsors, approves a grant of $89,500 from the Nashville Public Library Foundation to the Public Library for the Total Program. Do I have a motion? Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1558, Pridemore and Bennett sponsors, approves a grant of $37,300 from the Nashville Public Library Foundation to the Public Library to fund a part-time position to initiate partnerships with local colleges and universities to recruit volunteers for use throughout the library system. Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1559, Pridemore and Bennett as sponsors, approves a grant of $100,000 from the Nashville Public Library Foundation to the Public Library to provide staffing for the Special Collections Division. Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1560, Domney and Pridemore sponsors, authorizes the Director of Public Property Administration to acquire 5 properties to be used in the Park Greenway system at an acquisition cost of $105,850. And we have a letter from Councilman Domney. And duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1561, Pridemore, Davis, and Hunt sponsors, authorize the acquisition of a partial property located on Cherry Street for use as part of a stormwater project at the acquisition cost of $3,000. Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1565, Authorizes the Department of Law to settle the personal injury claim of Brittany Kilburn against the Metropolitan Government for the amount of $270,988.70. Or $70. Duly seconded. Councilman Claiborne for discussion.
Just a question. In Mr. Cooper's analysis, it says that the officer was had a 4-day suspension. I assume that that's without pay, but it doesn't specify that. Can anybody answer that?
It's without pay, but it's usually taken from vacation days. So you lose 4 vacation days. That's typically how those are handled.
Okay. So another question. Apparently this officer was trying to log into his computer, so he is obviously not watching the roadway. So we have, guidelines now about texting and using cell phones while driving and so on. Are police officers held to the same standard if they're doing things that they would normally write a citation for?
Well, I'm sure Captain Hager would gladly answer that question. I would love to answer that question, but I'll leave it up to him.
There are some exceptions in the law for officers doing their official duties, but that does not relieve them of their obligations under policy and obviously operate a vehicle safely.
Is that sufficient?
That answered the question.
Oh, okay. Seeing no other in the queue, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1566, authorize the Department of Law to settle claims of Jackie Gilbert Cross Jr. against 2 Metro police officers for the amount of $50,000. Do I have a motion? Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Bills on second reading. 2015-1211, Councilman Claiborne's sponsor, amends the Metro Code pertaining to subsidized health insurance benefits for future members of council after they leave office. Duly seconded. Councilman Claiborne.
Thank you. This is the same bill that I had in February 2013, and it's designed to give part-time council members the same insurance benefits at the end of 8 years, 2 terms, that full-time Metro workers get at the end of 10 years. So we redid the vesting period a couple of years ago and raised it from 5 to 10 years for all Metro employees. So this is just asking to put us on the same level with Metro employees. This same action was recommended a year later, the year after this bill was defeated by Deloitte as a part of the compensation study that we authorized for the mayor, the vice mayor, and the council. And in a letter to Ms. Frazier that was dated on March the 20th, 2014, the recommendation was, and I'm quoting here, because none of the peers, that is peer cities, offer retiree medical coverage to council members, and to be consistent with common practice, we recommend Metro eliminate lifetime medical coverage for council members. Metro may want to consider grandfathering options as it relates to current council members, end quote. Then on page 9 of that study of the report, similar wording is found. Again, quoting, the most significant difference with benchmark cities was that the Nashville City Council members could continue their health, dental, and vision insurance after serving 2 terms. None of the benchmark cities surveyed indicated that they offered this to council members when they left office, only COBRA coverage after termination. And then on April the 1st of 2014, the Employee Benefit Board met, and item 5 on the minutes of that particular meeting state, quoting, a vote was taken on the motion by the board recommended to the council that beginning with the next full council, any member elected for the first time beginning with the next election, will not be eligible for the benefit of lifetime health insurance and was approved with B.R. Hull opposing. And then last November the 4th, we had a meeting here and dealing with the extension of the Study and Formulating Committee, and Mr. Riebling in his remarks indicated that the importance of extending the work of the Study and Formulating Committee was necessary for them to complete their work, including looking at the city's liabilities related to insurance and benefits. So we currently have 34 past council members and their survivors who have this benefit in place at a total annual cost to the city of $288,900. And in the current body that we're serving in, there are 28 individuals and family members who have the benefit in place for a total annual cost of $369,000 and to the city. So since our election in 2011, the city's paid a total of $2.6 million plus in insurance premiums, and this cost to the taxpayers is going to continue to grow at an exponential rate, for an indefinite period if we don't make some change here. So I'm simply asking you to support me in doing what is right here, in doing what the Study and Formulating Committee has proposed, and doing what the Retirement Benefit Board has proposed, and in following some of the recommendations from the Finance Department. So I'm asking for your support.
So we need a motion from somebody on the committee.
Have a motion, duly seconded. Councilman Garrett?
Just a question. If you had said something about, I know we moved the vesting from 5 to 10 years. Does that mean if a council member were to come out and come back and have 10 years that they would qualify?
Yes, there's.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you would still qualify to receive the benefit after 8 years. You would just pay the,
Right.
instead of paying 25%, you'd pay 75% of the premium as, the 8 years, 2 terms, that would be, it wouldn't be the full vesting period that Metro employees have, but pretty close to it.
Thank you.
Councilman Pardue, if I can get you up here, we'll.
They cut me off?
Now, the machine cut you off.
Oh, okay. The only question I got about it, we voted down giving the council a raise. It seems like we just continue to take stuff away from the council, and I'm wondering, are we looking to go to a completely voluntary council?
Council Lady Dow.
Thank you. I just had a question. Now, when would this take effect, Councilman Claiborne? I didn't hear.
It would take effect for the next council. So
Okay.
any current council member serving right now would be grandfathered in.
Okay. I'm going to piggyback on what Councilman Pardue has said. We voted this down once. I see no reason in bringing it back. I think we should wait until the new council come in and let them decide how they want to handle it, and also look at the whole compensation, everything, staffing, and all of that in the next budget. I see no rationale for moving this forward at this time. And just like he said with the Study and Formulating Committee, we voted down. We're not benchmarked compensation-wise against the peers that are council members. Staffing-wise, we're not the same. We have a pretty lean council. The salaries are pretty low. Most of us are doing this on a volunteer basis, to be honest with you, because we have other jobs. I have other insurance. It's more beneficial for me and cost-effective to use it in my private industry job. So I think if you look at the 28 people who are receiving the benefit, a lot of you already work for Metro, been here on the council a lot of years, are retired from the state, and so you receive those benefits also. So I'm not really sure if that 28 is a true number, since Many of you have served on the council prior to term limits, so you already, are receiving the benefit, are retired like you, Councilman Claiborne. So I'm going to vote no and let the next council come in, address this issue if they choose to.
Council Lady Weiner.
I have to agree with Councilmember Pardue, and I have to respond to what Councilmember Dowell said. If we keep kicking the can down the road and keep punting it to the next council, we're going to have the same issue we're having right now. And the bottom line is, when do we stop taking things away from those of us that are spending countless hours working for our respective communities? And so if we keep taking and taking, it's as Councilmember Pardue said, we'll end up being volunteer. I've spoken with multiple council members in different cities, and they get far higher pay than we get, but they also represent a far higher number of constituents. If you look at the growth of Nashville, Nashville is fixing to grow and grow and grow, which is going to mean each of us is going to have responsibility for more and more constituents. So consider the amount of time that you spend now doing this job and what it's going to be down the road. Thank you.
Council Lady Allen.
Thank you. Just to follow up again on the question about the raise that we chose not to accept. I think part of the reason that many of us didn't was because it was a larger raise than we were giving to the Metro employees, and that just didn't seem fair. I guess this is a little bit unrelated, but I would ask, when would be the next opportunity for us to come back and visit giving ourselves a raise that's commensurate with what was given to the rest of the Metro employees over that period of time?
The next council could consider that at any point, but it wouldn't take effect for 4 years.
Gotcha.
You
So we've
can't
totally missed
increase
our
it during, yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Councilman Claiborne.
Just in response to the thing about salary, of the 28 members that are currently receiving this benefit for themselves and their families, that's a cost to Metro annually of $14,796. So if you consider from a standpoint of salary and benefits, we have 28 council members out of the 39 that currently serving that are actually making $29,796 a year. They're making $15,000 a year for salary, and they're getting a $14,796 insurance benefit paid by Metro. That means when they leave the council, they're going to continue to get $14,796 a year for life. So my question is, does serving 8 years in this council on a part-time basis entitle somebody for a lifetime benefit of almost $15,000 a year? We have 5 members in our body that have individual coverage. That's costing Metro $5,868. So add that to the $15,000 salary, and we have 5 members that are making $20,868 a year from the standpoint of salary and benefits. Does serving 8 years on a part-time basis entitle somebody to that kind of lifetime benefit? That's the question that I'm asking. We have 6 members in this body that do not have the Metro insurance coverage. Those 6 members make $15,000 a year, and when they leave this chamber, they don't get anything. So we have an inequity in the system, even. So I'm just asking you, does serving part-time for 8 years in this body entitle an individual to a lifetime benefit of somewhere between almost $6,000 a year and $15,000 a year? And as insurance costs increase, then these numbers are going to increase on an annual basis also. Projection is that in the next 20 years, we could be in the millions of dollars that we're paying people who the government gets no benefit from because they are retired and they have no connection to the council other than the fact that they were there once.
Councilman Domney?
Thank you. I missed the beginning of this discussion, but Mr. Cooper, for those that have the insurance, is that provided to them for free, or do they pay for that out of the salary that they receive?
Current council members who are participating pay the same contribution rate that Metro employees pay, which is 25% of the premium.
Okay. When they retire from the council, do they continue to pay, or do they get that for free?
Currently, after 8 years of service, they pay the 25% premium like Metro employees.
So as council members, they have the option of signing up for the health insurance. At they have to pay for part. They do get a subsidy, and I don't see a problem with that serving, but they have to buy that. In the event they stop buying that, do they have the chance to go back and pick it up again?
Once you stop participating in the system, you cannot go back on, is my understanding.
So for having served, we have the option of purchasing health insurance through the group plan through the city and buying that indefinitely as long as we pay for it.
As long as you pay the subsidized rate, correct?
Okay, thank you.
Seeing no others in the queue, all in favor of the amendment? Aye. Opposed?
Let's get hands on the,
Yeah, we need a count, please. All in favor of the
bill.
of the bill. 2015, 12, 11.
Okay.
All right, all opposed?
How does the chair vote? Okay, so you're voting for it? Yeah. Okay, so that's 2 for, 7 against, and 1 abstention.
Okay. 2 for. How many against?
7 against and 1 abstention.
2 for, 7 against. Motion fails. PL 2015-12-13, Pridemore and Davis, amends the Metro Code pertaining to abandoned water sewer connections, irrigation meter ownership, and tap fees. Is there,
And there's basically a housekeeping amendment that we need to take.
okay, the housekeeping, Councilman Davis, Anthony Davis, do you have the amendment?
Yes, he's moved the amendment.
Okay. All right, all in favor of the, seeing any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the bill as amended?
The amendment first.
Oh, I'm sorry, the amendment. Now, all in favor of the bill as amended? Opposed? Motion passes. That concludes the Budget and Finance meeting.